So in my other video, I mentioned that I was going to be taking a bit of a break from DMT for I'm not sure how long, but since I've been going through a lot of stuff in my life, I think it's going to be best for me to ignore or avoid all psychedelics for now. And I'm also 100% sober in terms of not smoking weed. I haven't smoked weed since 420. And I don't plan on smoking weed consecutively ever again, just because I don't like the fact that I've been wasting so much money on it and it didn't really get me high or anything. So I wanted to address one thing where they said that there was no point for me to be using DMT or anyone else because it was just a difficult torment experience that just they didn't see any value in it. And I know I've expressed my opinion on what the value that I see in it and it being art, and they were saying you can't, you don't have to make art from your trips. You can just make art, without having to trip. And to a degree, I understand that, but there's also specific real things in the DMT experience, specifically hallucinatory form constants and motifs and archetypes that you can't just make up in your own mind. You have to actually see it. So that's kind of an issue there. To make true DMT art, you need to experience DMT. And luckily, there's new developments that basically make this more likely for us to actually be able to show people and say, look, this is a real thing that we can't ignore. There's actual visual information there. And there's technology that's going to be coming out that they're still working on to actually be able to record the DMT trips with this machine. I'm actually going to play you guys a clip to show you what I'm talking about. Basically, in this clip, they have a cat hooked up to a brain scanning machine, and they're able to use a composite of images. And the image could be anything from buses and little movie scenes or other images. It kind of works the same way that the Deep Dream software works. If you ever seen those renderings, you see a lot of dogs and cats. They basically have a composite of different images, and then those images basically get morphed into the scene, so it actually changes it. But what they're doing with this technology is basically using all of these composite images to render what a cat is seeing in its actual eyes. So it's reading the brain, and it's actually able to see. We're actually able to see on video what they're seeing. And now the resolution is very low, so that means that it's not as clear and not as accurate as exactly what they would be seeing. But as we increase in resolution, it's going to get to the point where we can actually see hallucinatory form constants. So when you close your eyes and press on them and then you start to see those patterns, that's what I'm talking about. The resolution is going to get so high that we're going to actually be able to see those patterns. And those patterns are what is going on in the DMT trip, but just to an extreme degree. So in probably about 15 years, we're actually going to have that technology. And I'm going to share with you guys the video that explains this a little bit more.
And Dan have proved that in principle it is possible to read and to understand the brain.
I didn't know that we started this thing again. So this is a digitized movie. We present this to the animal, and we record the activity of their visual neurons, and these electrical signals that we recorded from will travel through these cables.
She managed to tap the vision from the brain of a cat and to reconstruct what the cat sees onto a computer screen.
So this is a digitized movie. This particular movie is a short clip from Indiana Jones, I think.
Here we see the two images next to each other. On the left, the image that was shown to the cat. At the right, the image that is tapped out of the cat's brain.
The picture has a lot of random flickering, the noise. That's probably the noise of the actual neurons, because they sometimes fire spontaneous spikes. We consider those noise, but maybe they reflect something else, maybe the thoughts or something. But we can't distinguish that. So when we use all of those, thinking that they represent visual information, this is the reconstruction that we come up with.
It is the first time an image was tapped from a brain. It proves that we can read and understand the grammar of it. The face is recognizable, but I still can't avoid the impression that the face has something cat-like.
I talked to a guy named Red Greenvine on shroomery.org who first made me aware of this technology, and he told me that we're actually going to be able to record it in about 15 years, the actual DMT experience, and that will be the point where we actually boldly go where no man has gone before.